I want to welcome you to the 2016 version of our President's Annual Planning Meeting. I see a lot of good faces in the crowd here and a good cross-section of the university, and we're glad you're here. We're going to kick this thing off with Dr. DeTavio. It's going to be my pleasure to introduce him. He's been the president of Tarleton for the past 7.5 years, and his leadership, you could say, has been certainly transformational. Just looking at enrollment alone, we have 43% more students today than we had in 2009. It's just phenomenal growth. Now, Dr. DeTavio is someone who believes that the success of Tarleton is dependent upon each of us working together to create and implement successful strategies that will meet our current demands and then also provide a roadmap to our future. At the same time, we're always going to be mindful of our vision and our values to keep us on the right course. So at this time, I'd like you to join me in welcoming Dr. DeTavio to the podium.
Thank you so much, David, and welcome all of you to this annual meeting. It's become somewhat of a tradition for us to gather shortly after the change in the new year to think about the new year ahead of us and the years ahead of us. And so thank you all for coming out. Today's going to be particularly special for us, not only because it provides us that opportunity to reflect a little bit on some of our past accomplishments and what it is that we might want to think about doing in the short term here over the next year, but longer term. And today it's special because we're going to really start to stretch out and think even longer into the future, because I think, as most of you know, the Higher Education Coordinating Board has produced a plan called the 60 by 30 plan, and today we have the great pleasure to have Dr. Rex Peoples, the Assistant Commissioner for the Academic Quality and Workforce Division, with us, and he's going to give his perspective on what that 60 by 30 plan is about. And what we want you to do is think about how it is that Tarleton can really contribute to that long-term plan. That the 30 in it is talking about going out to 2030. So kind of have to put the thinking caps on and really start to stretch out. You know, sometimes it's difficult for us to think about getting to the end of the semester or what it is that we might want to do next this coming year. And here we're really talking about stretching out well beyond where we are. Dr. Peoples, I want you to know that you have here with us representatives from every division, certainly most of the departments across the university, and these are some of the extraordinary leaders of this university. And so you will be talking to the folks that indeed can start to make some important things happen and really think how it is that 60-30 plan can come to fruition and how we can contribute to that. I want you all to know that we are extraordinarily proud of all that you have accomplished since we began this strategic planning process a couple of years ago, what it is that we've put in place to focus on that vision about becoming the premier student-focused university in Texas, living out the core values of this university every day, and really moving forward in powerful ways those 4 strategic goals that we identified a couple years ago. I have to tell you, it is, I don't know that a day goes by that I don't hear somebody reflecting directly something about our student-focused theme, or that talks about how it is that somebody has affected them, or how it is that they've seen one of the core values of the university being demonstrated by our students, by a faculty member, by a staff member. And that tells me that this university, across the university, in the classrooms, outside the classrooms, have really embraced that vision statement, those core value statements. And then if you, and I know all of you would come up with, I think, great examples. If you think about what it is that has happened with regard to those 4 goals, I expect you all might have different ideas of what some of those great accomplishments might be. When I looked at the academic innovation just in a meeting with the provost yesterday, she talked about in our criminal justice program and public administration, we now have about 800 students in those programs. That has been one of the remarkable trajectories of this university over the last couple of years. And then George and Denise, I saw Denise around here someplace, this one shocked me as well. I had no idea. In our engineering technology programs, we have about 700 students these days. And you know, we have not historically been thought about as a STEM-related university, but boy, we are changing that in powerful ways. Student transformation, you look at what is happening with the residence hall piece of this university, and it's not just about putting up buildings, but it's about the programs that are being put in place, the living learning communities that are taking hold in those. It is fundamentally transforming how it is that students think about this university as a place to live, and most importantly, to learn as students during their time here. And then I introduced Dr. Peoples to Lethess and some of the student life people this morning, and they are transforming how it is that we transition students in, how we orient them, how it is that they really begin to become part of that Tarleton family. And believe that purple that many of you have on in this Purple Thursday. Thank you for doing that today. Exemplary service. I have to tell you, Javier and Kathy Purvis have, again, I don't want to overuse the word, but they've transformed how it is that we approach student financial aid. You know, that was one of our big issues a couple years ago, and it was a place that really needed some attention. And I received a wonderful letter just the other day from a parent of a student that really needed some assistance, and those two stepped up in remarkable ways. Looked back as far as 2010 on some things that may have happened and how it is that student needed to have some additional help, and they really made a difference in that student's life. Cheryl Smith over in the president's office, she assisted a student that was intent on leaving the university. She called in crying. And what was powerful about that conversation is she sent me an email talking about it, that's why I know this, and talked about how Cheryl talked about the core values of the university and how it is that she could do this, and how it is that we were intent on doing things like providing the right kind of service, and how she could become a part of this university in an important way. I hear those kind of stories all the time. Distinctive engagement, I see Danae sitting down here. If you have not seen her brochure on the continuing education programs, you need to take a look at it. My goodness gracious, what has happened in 2 years now, a year and a half? Not quite? Wow. What we've done in that area is truly remarkable, and so I congratulate you and all the people that have stepped up to really put in place a new, what I think is going to be very, very exciting program. And I saw Jess Evans sitting back there. On Saturday, we had 450 people at an alumni event. That is, I think, by far the largest we've ever had for a single alumni event outside of Stephenville. And what has happened over the last 2 years or so to transform that board and their purpose in life has been remarkable. So that's another example of the distinctive engagement goal that we have. So a lot of great things happening across this university because of you, much of it focused on that vision, those core values, and those goals that we establish. Again, reflecting on accomplishments is important, but we also have to turn our page and start to think about 1 year, 5 year, 15 years, as Dr. Peoples will start to talk to you about that here in the next couple minutes. You have a full day ahead of you where we want you to be engaged. Hear some of what the big statewide issues are, what those big goals are for the state, but then for you to think about how it is that we as a university contribute to those. I certainly know you are up to the task because I've seen you do this before, sit in these meetings and come out with some terrific ideas, boiling some wonderful ideas down to some things that are realistic, things that we can indeed do. And so I know at the end of this day, we will have a powerful set of ideas on how it is that we should go forward. Now, this is something I think most of you know, but we set this meeting up a couple of months ago, actually. And regrettably, I have a kind of command performance down at the State House. I have to be in Austin by 12 o'clock today. And so my car is waiting outside there. And I am going to run out there and head to Austin as fast as I can and hope I-35 is cooperative today. But I want you to know, but for having to be in Austin, this is where I know I should be. But the good news is, as somebody already told me, you are the ones that have all the good ideas, and it doesn't matter if I'm here or not, because you're going to be the ones that generate the exciting ideas for the future of this university and how it is that we contribute to those large statewide goals. There's going to be an announcement down there about a great new partnership related to the College of Veterinary Medicine that includes Tarleton and I think 3 other of the other universities in the system. And I think the press release will probably be out later this afternoon about that partnership. So I need to head down that way, but I thank all of you in advance for what I know is going to be a tremendous amount of great thought and hard work. And certainly, Dr. Peebles, thank you for being here to help kick off this session today. Thank you, folks, very, very much.
To add to what Dr. DiTavio just said, I'd like to recognize several individuals who are here today. Aside from Dr. Peebles, we have members of the President's Executive Cabinet with us. Dr. Karen Murray, our Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost. Mr. Ty Minkler, our Vice President for Finance and Administration. Dr. Kyle McGregor, our Vice President for Advancement and External Relations. And Dr. Laura Boren, our Vice President for Student Life. In case you didn't realize it, and I'm sure you already do, the co-chairs of the University Planning Council are Ms. Donna Savage and Dr. Nate Heller, and you're going to certainly be hearing some more from them later this morning. At this time, I'd like the members of the University Planning Council to please stand and be recognized for your work. Such an important council. And also, the strategy leaders for our strategic plan. We'd like to recognize you too, because you have worked hard throughout the year to ensure that our strategic plan is implemented and, importantly, measured. So please stand. If you're a strategy leader, please stand. Thank you. Did you know it's estimated somewhere between 63 to 90% of strategic plans fail? Now that statistic firmly places our strategic plan in a category that is an exception to the norm. Ours works. Credit for this belongs to employees in every department of this university. Our plan bubbles up from the faculty and the staff, as opposed to the other direction, which would be top-down. Your participation today continues this process of engaging a diverse cross-section of the university community in our planning. Another reason for the success of our strategic plan is that it is legitimately a living document. The plan is reviewed, evaluated, and revised on an annual basis to ensure that the goals, objectives, and strategies are relevant and supportive of our vision and mission. The cycle for this process starts now. After today's meeting, the University Planning Council will compile your recommendations and comments and then present them to the President's Executive Cabinet. The Cabinet will then use your input to update and revise the university's strategic plan for the next academic year, which starts this fall. The cycle then repeats itself again next year. It's a process that works very, very well for us, and I know in speaking with other organizations, and when they talk about their strategic plan, they are envious of what we do. As you already know, the plan's 4 goals are academic innovation, student transformation, distinctive engagement, and exemplary service. To give you a perspective on the ambitiousness of our strategic plan, last year there were 13 objectives, 43 strategies, and 112 measures connected to those goals. Imagine reporting that on Weave. No, don't go there. Okay, we don't want to talk about Weave. But anyway, that's a major accomplishment for us to work on that kind of thing, those many measures and goals and objectives. Dr. DeTavio's mentioned quite a few things already in terms of what we've accomplished. I'd like to add a few more. Of the 112 measures that are in the plan, 60% of them met their target. Another 31% partially met their target, and only 9% showed no progress. In other words, 91% of our measures showed some degree of progress. It's a phenomenal achievement. And it's really a testament to everyone's hard work and commitment to the plan. Of the 9% of the measures that showed no progress, nearly all were determined to be in need of redevelopment or just plain old abandonment. The current plan reflects this action, and there were appropriate updates made to those that were partially met as well, so that we can get them to the met category. Focusing more specifically then on each goal, just taking a random sample, starting with academic innovation, 10 of the 12 participants in cohort number 1 of the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning program for our new faculty successfully submitted manuscripts for publication or abstracts for conference presentations. We implemented the final year in our plan to increase admission standards ahead 1 year, and several successful steps were taken to recruit high-ability applicants. A sample of accomplishments in student transformation includes that each discipline in college have fully implemented a first-year seminar course. Students in our transition programs like Duck Camp, Orientation, and Transition Week received Strengths Quest assessments, and 100% of the student life staff have taken that instrument as well. The new student body is more diverse, and 15% of our new first-time students were classified as Hispanic. We implemented a holistic wellness program. Fitbit. Everyone got a Fitbit? And then multicultural programming for students, such as mental freedom, has increased persistence rates, grade points, and graduation rates for their participants. A sample of accomplishments for distinctive engagement includes an agreement that we've made with Tarrant County College to offer lower-level courses at the Hickman Building in Fort Worth to complement the upper-level and graduate courses that we offer there. A partnership was established with Marlin ISD, which faced closure by the Texas Education Agency due to a continuous record of failure. The partnership intends to promote student achievement, standards realignment, post-secondary readiness of the students, and other administrative services. A well-focused marketing and branding campaign was initiated, and actions have been taken and been effective for enhancing the regional, state, and national recognition of Tarleton. As for accomplishments of exemplary service, a few samples include the sustainability program was enhanced and actually incorporated into the curriculum as a concentration. Service standards have been incorporated into the new employee orientation program. And ongoing assessments of constituent service satisfaction were implemented. We have a noble vision at Tarleton. As President Tavio said, the vision is to become the premier student-focused university in Texas and beyond. This is a vision that differentiates Tarleton from other universities in a very meaningful way. It is important to remember that this is our adopted responsibility now and in the future. As President Tavio said, we need to continue to look ahead and keep focused on the long term. Dr. Peebles is here today presenting the 60 by 30 Texas Higher Education Strategic Plan, because the goals of that plan will provide guidance for our own plan and a future that we hope to see in 15 years. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you for taking a day away from your busy schedule to be here and to participate. The extra effort is why these planning retreats are so successful.